All right, everyone. Let's get started. Please download Laboratory 11 from Blackboard, and then please open it. Today we are going to learn how to write codes to work with files. And please run the first script to identify your host name, username, and the kernel information. Since you can write, and then please input your full name, our number, write the title and the date. Okay, and here's the background with, I think you have already learned in the lectures from the professor, right? It's about the computer files and the file systems and how to get the files from the file path of the system, right? For instance, we can get some the system files from this path or some examples, and yeah, so you can read them, and the file tabs here, some of them. You must be very familiar with the text files, right? .text or some Word or PDF files, right? There are some regular files contains information readable by the users, so they are designed to be readable for you. But there are some other binary files. There are also some regular files, but they contains some information readable by the computer. Okay, and if you want to know some ASCII text, you can Google it. I think it's about the coding theory. It's not very related to the programming languages. But you can, if you are interested, you can Google them and you can learn them. And next one is about directory files. It's about like how to contain information about the system needs to access all types of the files. Actually, when you need to search the files, you need to use the directory files, okay? But I think in this class, we don't use them. We only use the binaries or the text files, all right? And here we learn how to do the file manipulations, okay? So first, please, first, if you want to do the manipulation, you need to have one file, right? So here is about how to create a file and how to write something into the file. You know, it's an example of creating a file that does not exist. Okay, so first one, you need to import a system as well as means system, okay? So import the package, right? And then you can use some system, some other functions, right? So system, and then here you need to delete. If you have this one, you need to, if you have my first file .text, you need to delete it. Okay, so I think you can click this file icon and check the folders. Okay, so for now you don't have my first file .text file, right? For Windows, you need to use this way. If you are using a Windows system, you need to use a delete my system, my first file. But if you're using a Mac, you need to use remove dash false my first file .text. Okay, so you need to choose it. Okay, depends on your operating system. Okay, for me, I'm using a Mac system, so I use the second one, and then delete them, and then show the pwd means the print the working directory. Okay, so it lists the naming of the working directory. So you see here is that my working directory, my name and desktop, and then the folder and week 5. Okay, run again. So you delete them. Make sure you delete my first file .text file. All right, and then show the working directory or the working folder. And next one, you can create a file. For instance, you can use open function, open, and then my first file could not find. What do you mean by could not find? So it means actually first you need to determine couldn't find. Okay, it's fun because now we try to delete this file, but if it cannot find this file, it's okay because next time we will create this file. We just want to make sure we write the same things into the file, because if you already have this file, perhaps there are some different, right? So that's why we need to delete it first. If it cannot find, it means it doesn't exist. So it's fine, okay? Because because in this file we need to create, okay? So let's continue. Next one here is open. You can use the external file. It means you can use this way to create a file. Okay, so it means you want to create a connection to a file, but if this file is not, this file doesn't exist, then it will create it first. Okay, write something set to the right. W means right. So let's see the open function. So open, the first argument would be the file name, and then second one would be the options you want to do the operation. You can read, you can update, or you can write, or you can delete, or create several options. Here we want to write, right? So let's set to write operation. But if this file doesn't exist, it will create, okay? And then you define another variable, a string variable, right? Message in a bottle. Write something into a string, right? And then you can use external, because for now you use open to create a connection. Then you can use this variable dot write to write this message into your file, into this file, because you just created a connection to this file, okay? And then please make sure to close this file connection, because if you forget to close it, perhaps you will write something in your memory into the file, or write something into your memories, so it could be dangerous. So please make sure to close the connection every time. It's a good habit, all right? So first, you see, you need to open, but with different options. In this way, is write, and then create another variable and dot write function to write these things, and close. And after you run this file, you will get a new file named my first file.txt. And then you will see this message in the file, because you just write something. You use codes to write something into your file. I think when you don't know how to write the code, you don't know how to use code to write something into the file, right? Let's see how. And when you write, you just see it's a number, but nothing print out. But if you check it, refresh it, please refresh the folder, and then you will see a new file, my first file, and then double click my message in a bottle, right? So it's just what you want. Okay, so let me delete it again, delete, and run again. So you see my folder, run again, see this folder and the message in a bottle, right? It's about how to create a file and how to write something into your file. Okay. So any errors in this cell? Okay. Okay, next one is about how to read the information in a cell, in a file. We can use the bash command. Bash command is like the basic language in your operating system. Okay, so if you are using Windows, you can use this tab, my first file text, or if you are using Windows, you can use cat to look at the contents of the file. Right, you see message in a bottle. You don't need to double click and check it manually. You can use a code to check the message, to check the information of your file. Okay, you can use this way, but if you are using Windows, you can use it. You can run this cell. All right. Okay, it's about how to create a file and write something. Please make sure you use the write option. Okay. And next one is about how to read from an existing file. Continue using a file just made and read from it. So next one is about how to write the Python code. Another error. Oh, okay. So what is your error? Cannot find the file specifically. Same for me. Okay. Accessing Windows. Okay, it's weird. I'm not sure. Delete the comments. You mean delete this comments? Let me try. Sorry, because I haven't used the system cannot for. Okay, yeah, error. All right, so what I got? Okay, so I see. Perhaps you need to delete the comments. Maybe the comments doesn't work in Windows. So please try to delete the comments and try. Yeah, delete the comment and try again. And so do you have these weird errors or not? Why does that work? Because actually, because for now, although you are using a code cell, but it's not a code, it's not a Python code, it's a bash command. This is a keyword in the bash command. It's a bash language. So I'm not sure if they will consider the star not it's a hash key as some codes in bash. That's why I think maybe perhaps you have these errors. So if you delete this comment, does that work or not? Okay, yeah, sounds good. Perhaps when you are using the Windows, please make sure to leave no comments. Yeah. Okay, sounds good. But I think for the Mac, you can use this hash key symbol for the comments. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay, so then let me continue. So here is that you use some bash command to print the message of your file, but you can also use a Python code. It means you can continue to use the file we just made and use the R. We create a connection to the file, but we set the options to read option. Okay, so it means R, not W. Remember here is W means the write. You want to write something into the file. In this way, it means you only need to write. You only need to read the file read something from the file. You don't want to change the information. Okay, and after that, you can use these silly strings to get the read and run brackets and close and print out the strings. Okay, message in the bottom. Okay, it's about how to read something from an existing file, but in this way, please make sure you have this file. If you don't have this file, for instance, I will delete it and show you. You will see have an error. Then it means file not found. It means you cannot find this file from your directory. Okay, so please make sure you have this file before you read it. Okay, for instance. Okay. All right. Next one is about how to update a file. Here, this example continue with the same file, but we want to add some contents without destroying the existing contents. Then the keyword would be append. So, if you remember, when we are learning the data structures list or the array or an array, so I think we name it as a list, right? So for instance, let me show you. list A. If you remember, this list, right? You can use the append to list A dot append something, append another way to. If you remember, we also use the append function from the list, right? And we can also use the append in the file manipulation. For instance, here if we want to append something, we need to set the option to A. A means R means read and A means append. Okay, set to append and create a connection. And then here you write another new line character and then define another strings and write these strings and write another strings and write it. Okay. So, and you use this way to write something. And next one here is it's another list, right? Here is a list of the numbers. I think first I want to here it's a little bit hard. I'm not sure you have already learned it or not, the map function. So you can use this way to create for instance, for now there are five numbers in the my list, right? And you can use this way to join them together, but use this colon symbol to join these different elements in the my list. Okay, and then write it to the list, write it to the file, and then you see again another way to write the list, but use the different special symbol. We use colon and use comma here, and write it again. So write, and then you can check. You need to delete it and check it. Okay, so first one would be message in a bottle, right? And the second one, when you run this way, it will get a new line, right? And then this is a new message. I love rock and roll, and this one, and then another one, and here is a list, right? So if you use this way, you can write this list in the same line, but use the colon as a separate ways. Okay, next one is comma. Okay, so I think for now it's hard to understand, but later we will learn how to use the map function and how to use REPR function. It means yourself. It means the list itself. Okay, so later we will show how to use them, but now you only need to know that it's a good way to print them together, to print them in the same line, and use some different special symbol like the colon or the comma to separate them. Okay, so when you write, you will have this way. Okay, all right. So okay, here Professor said the map function, apply the function to every atom iterable and return a list of the results. You can use this way to map, and then it's a function, and then the second one would be some iterable like the list or the tuple or the dictionary. It's a return something. Actually, it's a return something itself. Return a string containing a printable representation of an object. But actually, it's not very important, I think. You can read them. Yeah, it's a good way to print the list in the same line. But I think you will. I'm pretty sure in your following exams, we will not use the map and the REPR functions. But if you are interested, you can read them and learn how to use them. All right. Yeah, it's about how to update a file, how to use the append keyword to update the file. Okay, so any questions or any errors for this cell? Okay, next one is about how to delete a file. Actually, delete can be done by a system call. You can or bash command right? You can use operating system dot remove, or you can delete, use the delete, right? Or you can use a remove. Actually, we have already used it here, right? Here is about the way to remove it, use the system call. But you can also use the, but you can use the Python codes. It means operating system and remove function, remove function to, and here you see you need to use a try and accept function, try and accept structure, because if you are not sure, if you're not sure to how to, if you're not sure whether this file exists or not, okay, please import this operating system first. Yeah, so in this way you missing or delete. Yeah, so try to remove it. Passing font here is accept, and you can do this way. You can do this way. You can print no files found to give you a hint. Give you a hint. It means there's no my first file dot text, or you can just choose pass to make sure your program will finish at last. Okay, and then print first to kill and missing out deleted. Okay, so use this way, because if you see the comment here, file must exist, or it will generate an exception or give you some errors. Or you can use this way for the Windows or for Mac. All right, here's the way to remove the files. Okay, and next one, because for now you have already removed, you don't need to run this out. Okay, so any questions so far? Okay, so here's some documents you can read more about the file manipulations. Last one is about an exercise. Is second cell give me an error. Yeah, because actually you have already delayed. In this way, you have already deleted the first file text. So if you run it again, it will give you an error. So I will suggest you can run either of these two cells, but not both, because if you run both of them, perhaps you have the error. Because for now, after you run this cell, you don't have my first file text, so that's why you have an error. Okay, so you ignore that. You can ignore that because your code is correct, but there's no file. Yeah. All right, the exercise here is your favorite quotation. So please submit your notebook file, and then you will generate a text file, and then you need to submit this PDF file. Okay, so create a text file named my favorite quotation, and then write your favorite quotation in the file and read the file, and then add the strings, and that's something I wish I had said, and then show the final outcome. Okay. Yeah, so here is some actually we have already write something for you. First one is write means we create a file and then name it as my favorite quotation and write something W, and then here is about how to read this file. All right, you can here is my choice. You can write the quotation here. All right, you can replace something with your favorite quotation, and then this code blocks is represents the third item, the third bullet item. Here is about how to read something and close, and then next one you are asked to add another line. Okay, so you need to add this line. All right, so I will give you more hints here. So you need to use append options. For instance, you need to use here, show you. Okay, so you need to use this one, not exactly the same, but you need to make sure to set the append options and add something, all right? And then last one, you need to show the final outcome again. You need to read the file last time. So for instance, you need to use this line again here. Okay, so all you need to do is write 2 blocks of the file. First one, you need to replace here. You need to replace it with your favorite quotation, and then you need to append something here. And then at last, you need to show the final outcome to read the file again and show the outcome. All right. It's about the exercise. Yeah, so that's all I want to share today. If you don't have any questions, please feel free to leave the meeting, and see you on Wednesday. And yeah, if you still have questions, you can stay here. Let's discuss. Okay. Thank you, guys. 2010 language PDF. Yes, you need to turn in. So you see here, you need to submit the notebook file, the text and the PDF. Yeah, you need to submit. You need to create submit the text file you create in the exercise. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, I will stop here and see you on Wednesday.